Hi everyone, I'm Bonita from Pennies to Dollars and welcome to my channel where we talk about frugal living, saving money, cutting expenses, and living our best life on less. Today we are going to tackle a subject about why I live on less. So let's get started. So let me start out by asking a question. At what point or at what age do you think that someone should be financially stable? That means having no debt, having no mortgage, having no car payment, and having their income just go for regular utilities and regular expenses of living, like food and gas and that sort of thing. I think that is an important place to start with this video. I recently did a video on how I live on $21,500 per year. That is my budget. That is what we can live on. Now, could I live on more than that? Could I spend more than that? I probably could. But why would I want to if I don't need to? That's the question that I really want to pose to people today. So those of you with the same philosophy as me and the same concepts with me, and maybe you come from a background of frugal living like I did. My parents were Depression era parents, raised by grandparents that went through the Dust Bowl. And so those concepts were passed down to me to be frugal, to be self-sufficient, to not owe people money, and to be stable and self-reliant. That's where I'm coming from. I know some of those concepts have kind of gone by the wayside, but that's where I'm coming from when I say that I can live on $21,500 a year comfortably. I planned this, I practiced this, I budgeted for this. And that's where I came up with those numbers, and that is what we actually spend. Now, if we bring in more than that, we still spend that amount. That is where we are at with our budget. That's what we need to spend. I don't raise certain areas unless it's just unavoidable. Like if something like property taxes or something like that goes up and it's unavoidable, then I'm going to have to raise different areas, but I try to offset them in others. Now, why do I live on that amount of money? Many might think that it's not possible. Many might think that I'm not living a decent life by setting that bar so low. But I beg to differ because I feel like any level of life that you live, you have to have a good, positive attitude and you have to be determined. That's where I'm coming from. I don't see myself as poor because I'm not poor. I have ample savings. I could spend more if I needed to, but I don't need to, and therefore I don't want to. I want to have that savings. I want to have that cushion. I'm also determined to be able to live on less so I can do the things that I want to do, like the wintering in Texas that I'm doing right now. Those are things I want to do, but even so, I'm still doing that frugally because then that leaves me options to do more things throughout the year than just this one event. So I feel like being determined, being positive, and looking at your life as the abundance that you actually have and being thankful for the things that you actually have is the key to being able to live on less. We have an old farmhouse. It's drafty, it's cold, it needs the floors replaced. There's a lot of things that it needs done. And that's what happens when you have an older building. We had to put in electricity, we had to redo the well, we had to redo the roof, we had to lift portions of the roof that were still slanted. There's parts of the roof that's still slanted, but we have chosen to live like that and we enjoy that house, and we don't see a reason to modernize it, to take away from that history, and to put a ton of money into something that is working for us just for the sake of fitting in with what today's society of what a house should look like. There are so many possibilities when you live on less to enjoy your life without spending a bunch of money. Sometimes we equate vacations with a lot of money to have a good time. We equate life and clothing and food and going out to eat, all of those things that cost a lot of money, we equate them to a quality of life. We've set that bar so high that it makes a lot of people in debt to try to live the lifestyle that they think is a quality life. But living on less, you still have tons of possibilities. We just choose to do things that don't cost a lot of money. I recently did a survey and asked people what they thought frugal living meant. Did it mean you were poor? Did it mean you had to give up things you enjoyed? Did it mean freedom? I gave several choices in there. And the top choice was that frugality brought freedom. And that is the choice that I would choose myself. Being frugal has given me so much freedom to get up and choose the day as I want to spend it, to not have to go to work, to pay people for things that I still want to buy, that I'm either driving or living in or eating. So many people get up every single day and go to work to pay for things that they are using on borrowed time because they're not paid for. I didn't want to live that life anymore. I wanted to be financially stable in my 50s so that I could choose what I wanted to do and that I didn't have to go to work to pay other people for things that I was using. I have a great quality of life doing things that are free or low cost. I'm going to share with you now one of the programs that I just sat through that was free here at the 55 and over park. That was a high school band, and they are playing instruments that are from Cuba, and they are amazing. And I want to share this with you because I had a great time. My in-laws had a great time. There are things like this available to do that do not cost money. Not everything needs to cost money to provide quality of life. So I hope you enjoyed that tiny clip. So what have we talked about today? What age do you need to be stable financially? That is your decision. That's what you need to decide for yourself. And then attitude, positivity, being thankful for what you have, looking at the possibilities that frugal living provides, looking at the freedom that it provides. Those are the reasons that I want to live on less. And then I believe in myself. That's taken a long time to get to that point. We all go through stages in our life where we have to learn to build on our own skills. And I have learned over time that I can think myself out of almost any situation. If I'm presented with something that seems like I have no options, I sit down and look at it because generally there are always options. They may not always be ones that you would choose, but there's always options. And I have trusted myself over time to figure out a way to get around just about anything that presents itself to me if I have a difficulty. I also have learned to operate without a safety net, and that has helped me believe in myself. I don't have any bank loans. I don't have anyone to borrow money from. I don't have any parents. I don't have any siblings to borrow money from. It is just me taking care of me and taking care of my family all these years. And so operating without a safety net, that's part of that self-reliance. That's part of that positivity and determination that I can get and handle whatever comes my way and I will be okay. So think about what would happen if you lost your job tomorrow. Would you be okay? Would that totally throw your life in a topsy-turvy spin because you couldn't make the payments that you're obligated to make? What if you had no insurance as of tomorrow? Would you take better care of yourself? Would it change your thinking in any way if you didn't have those safety nets? Would it change the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis? Life can be scary if we let some of those scenarios take place in our head. But I have let them take place in my head, and I have reassured myself that I will be okay. I've shared with a couple of you that my husband lost his job, but we knew we would still be okay. Losing his job might have affected whether he got up in the morning and went to work, but it didn't affect how we lived, what we spent, how we managed our finances. We still had savings. Those kinds of things don't throw you in a topsy-turvy spin. If you have planned, if you know what you can live on, if you have all of those numbers right there at your fingertips, you are confident when things like that happen that they're not going to turn your life upside down. Overextending ourselves, having debt, having things that we're paying on that we have to get up and go to work to take care of every single day can be an emotional roller coaster if we lose our job, because we know we still owe those people, we have to make those payments, and now we don't have any money coming in. Those are some of the reasons that I've chosen to live on less, so that those life events don't affect me when they happen, because I am secure and I know what I need to live, and I have what I need to live, and all of that is just extra icing on the cake. Life can be non-stressful in those financial areas if we become financially stable as early as we possibly can. And I want to tell you this story that my son told me. He's also very frugal. Sometimes I think more frugal than me at times. He watches Yellowstone. I have never watched that. But he told me at one point in the show that these people came on and wanted to put in electrical poles and all of these things on the ranch. And the farmer said, I don't want that. And they said, why would you not want to modernize your property? Why would you not want to have electricity? And he said, because if you do that, I'm going to owe somebody every month for the rest of my life to live on property I've already purchased. So I'm not talking about electricity here. I'm just talking about things in general. That is a great scenario for why I live on less. I hope this video has been encouraging to you, and if it has, I would appreciate you subscribing and giving me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next video.